So what we are going to be looking at today is the professional development activities in IT, in supply chain. We'll focus on those two because we have limited time. At some point, we've had some sessions on the project management roadmap. So this time around, we're just going to focus on the IT areas and the supply chain certification areas. So, Gauthier, you want to check there? I think we should be online on LinkedIn. I'm gonna share my screen here as well, just so it doesn't look like what is going on here. Can you check for me, Gucci?
Yes, let me open my account here and I'll let you know.
Okay, I'm not even sure anybody is saying. Okay, at least you can see me on the screen now. And just also to make sure that you can hear my sound. Okay, so I'll quickly introduce myself. My name is Abiodun Oke, the founder of Zero Project Services. And well, Zero Projects is about training consulting, and then we also support with business process consulting when it comes to ERP's implementation. We work with Odoo ERP, and we also train in SAP ERP. We're going to talk about some of those today as well. So I want Lucky to introduce himself and then Gautier, and we could take it from there. What I will encourage the other guys to do actually is do a little introduction in the chat box because it's also a networking opportunity. Do a little introduction on where you're, calling in from, a brief background, maybe your experience and things like that, and then also share your LinkedIn URL so that you can also connect with, the colleagues that are here on the platform. It's one of the great ways to actually expand your network with those who are within, those who have access to the right type of opportunities you're looking for in that sense. So let's do that in the chat box. I hope you have access to be able to use the chat box. Let me just make sure here. Yeah, I think you should be able to use chat box. Yeah, I think Yusuf already tapped in here. So, anyways, let's continue. So, we go for Lucky first, and then Gautier. Awesome, awesome. So, Gautier, I don't know how we're gonna do your introduction because you're just here on LinkedIn, right? Okay, go ahead and do your own introduction. By the way, do you know Lucky? Have you met Lucky? Gautier, I
There
can't
we
hear
go.
you.
Yes, I met Lucky. I
Oh,
think
okay, great.
yeah, we met online here.
Oh, awesome, awesome. Yeah, so Lucky is also from Cameroon and he speaks French too, right?
Beautiful, beautiful,
Okay, go
beautiful.
ahead.
So I can go ahead and introduce myself in French.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah, go
right,
ahead.
Abby?
Yeah.
Okay. Gauthier Ducam, I won't be long. I am a supply chain professional, over 15 years altogether. Currently working in the procurement field in Calgary. I'm happy to volunteer today and share a bit of my experience.
That's it.
That's it. Short and
Okay.
sweet, man.
Oh yeah. Okay then. Okay then. I like that. Short and sweet. So, anyways, Varun, nice to have you here. See, Varun is from Nova Scotia. So I was saying earlier that we have people across Canada, right? Varun is calling in from Nova Scotia. Nice to have you here, Varun. So what we're going to do is quickly look at the roadmap. I won't waste time on the roadmaps. Um, like I said earlier, we will focus on the IT roadmaps and then also the supply chain roadmaps. So I will try to do like a 30 minutes thing on my side here for the IT stuff, and then I will hand it over to Lucky. And then from there, we'll do maybe the CLTD. The guy that was supposed to cover the CLTD is not available today, but I'll try to go over it quickly. And Gautier will cover the procurement certificate. How that makes sense. Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen first here on show all my windows. See where I have my presentation. It's my presentation here. Just give me a second. Okay, think I got it. I'm just trying to share my presentation here. I know it looks a little bit awkward. It's all quiet here, right? Gautier, can you see my screen?
Um, Not yet. On live stream, not yet.
Oh, okay.
Um, but if you want, I can continue with my introduction. I made it short and sweet so that we can have more time for discussion.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, I'm also like a part-time instructor with State College, where the last 2 years, I was fortunate to instruct logistics, uh, operations management, project management. With serial project, I also kind of like helped or guided two cohorts of PMP candidates. So yeah, that's something that I do on the side.
Okay, great. Yeah, so can you check for us on LinkedIn now?
Okay, I'll go back on LinkedIn. Give me a couple of minutes.
Okay. Um. Okay, I think Funke Ultimate. You guys can see my screen here on Zoom, right? Okay, great. Thanks, Funke. Adela, you there? So what I'm going to do, let me give you a co-host here. So if we have anyone who is trying to get in, please help them in, right? Because sometimes I could get too engrossed with what I'm doing that I might not remember to bring them in. You have the code now, Adela. Okay, good. Yeah, that helps. So I can keep focused here. We haven't heard from Gautier. Okay, so Gautier.
Yeah, I'm not able to pull up the page on LinkedIn for some reason. I registered like a couple of minutes ago, but I think I'm still missing the link to be able to connect live on LinkedIn for the event.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I
Yeah, but
think
you should just be able to look at it, right? Like to just see that it's you don't need to like enroll for the LinkedIn thing, but you can go on your LinkedIn, go on my profile, and then you will see the live thing going on there. Go on my
okay,
profile, you will see it there.
sounds good.
Okay, I think Lucky is with us here, right?
Yeah, Lucky is there.
Actually, not showing my camera on LinkedIn.
Okay, Lucky, can you see the live stream on your end? Mm. So maybe you can go ahead, Abby, and we'll figure out the linking thing. Hello. Okay, I can see your screen now
Okay.
on the live stream.
Okay then. Okay, sounds good. Okay, there you go. Let's have it. Okay, let's do it now. Okay, so without much ado, guys, I won't go through all of these things. This is something we had before, to talk about the IT roadmap for supply chain and project management professionals. So, so I won't go through every of this slide, but what I want to show us is just kind of show us the full stack IT solutions. So we have the ERP. Uh, okay, I think. So the ERP, APS, e-procurement. So something is still going on here. Just give me a second. It looks like he's in autoplay mode, but I don't want it to be in autoplay mode. Okay, so the ERP, APICS is still the same thing. ERP, APS, e-procurement, CRM, TMS, which is Transportation Management System, and WMS, Warehouse Management System. So these are really the full stack, of course, because before we started talking about AI, blockchain, and cybersecurity, these really are the main technology that we use in supply chain management. And we have scheduled really for ERP at this point in time. You will do the CRM, APS, TMS sometimes later, and also e-procurement. But the question I want to ask you guys here is this: what is the difference between e-procurement and ERP? Do you guys know? You can type in the chat box. What is the difference between ERP and e-procurement? Do you guys know the difference?
Am I allowed to answer too?
You just wait for a second. I think Parampreet is answering already. Okay, go ahead, Parampreet. Okay. How about you, Guche? You want to jump in?
No, no, go ahead. I'm just playing around.
Okay, okay. Um, well, anyways, so ERP is Enterprise Resource Planning tool. So Parampreet provided some ideas to okay, what the scope of ERP is. So ERP covers much more than just supply chain. ERP is like the technology that actually sits in the back end of any business process that is happening within an organization. So we will have the part of it that deals with quality management, the one that deals with supply chain management, the one that deals with procurement, the one that deals with what we call that material management. There's the one that deals with accounting. So just mention any business process, ERP handles it. But when we talk about procurement, you see we've now niched it down to just procurement. So And then also the thing with e-procurement is an example of what is really in use today that is really similar to what we call e-procurement is if you have used Amazon before, right? You've used Amazon in ordering stuff before, right? So that is one of those things that e-procurement also to do. But in the case of Amazon, is handling B2C, right? Business, actually C2C or B2C, you can call it that way. But when it comes to e-procurement, e-procurement is B2B, business to business. So that is really, how I could quickly talk about the difference between these two, anyways. And I am trying to, differentiate them because I want us to have an idea of what we're really using in terms of technology in our organizations. We can't cover everything. Of course, there are so many other technologies that are being used. Even today, we have the AIs, we have the blockchains, and we also have the cybersecurity aspects of technology nowadays. So the opportunities here, you can see business systems analysts. Um, Supply chain data analyst, functional consultant, solution consultants. All right. So all these careers are actually available to supply chain professionals. And honestly, I can't really overemphasize this. Sometimes I feel like people think they are only restricted to do the traditional supply chain careers, but these careers are also available to us as supply chain professionals. But we need to have the right type of skill sets to be able to, you know, work in these careers. So yeah, my unfortunately my PowerPoint is really messing around. I think I have to fix it. I think it's gonna go away, but apparently it's not. So just give me a second. Let me try to see if I can fix it this time. Presenter view, present full. Like it wouldn't really stop.
So yeah, while you're doing that, I just wanted to maybe share an example of what a supply chain analyst will do. We have a supply chain analyst in the company I'm working for now,
Mm-hmm.
and what he will do, he will cross functionally work with multiple departments. He will come into a business unit and maybe they need a dashboard to display a KPI, collect data from somewhere and display them in a certain manner. So
Okay.
he'll have a meeting with them, understand their needs, collect some basic format they would like to see the data under, and he go and work on the dashboard and the data source and the connections, and have meetings to kind of finalize the product. So that is what a supply chain analyst will do, and he will be working with procurement department, finance, production. It's just a matter of understanding the data and putting them in a certain format. So
Mm-hmm.
if you are in any field in supply chain and you kind of build or enhance your skills in data analysis and data management, it's a very good chance that you can pivot and land a job in those fields.
Okay. Sounds good. So let's go to, at least Gautier has been able to give us an example of what a supply chain analyst does. But there are also the traditional supply chain analysts, right? So those who would work in maybe inventory management, or they will work in planning and all these type of functions also. Now, the IT career roadmap that we have actually offered that we're still currently working with is this. Our focus really has been on the ERP, because we know with the ERP you have kind of a broader opportunity spectrum. So we're working with SAP. We also have Odoo, but SAP is the one we've currently scheduled. So SAP is an enterprise application for material management, which includes procurement, as well as inventory management and other type of business processes. And what we have in terms of roadmap is we have people going through this at the moment. Actually, we just completed the SAP end user and consulting last week, I believe. Yeah, last week. So this person, for example, who been able to go through this will then proceed to obtain a certification. So regardless of which one you actually pursue, the certification that is applicable to it is then what you will then take. So if you take SAP end user training, then you go forward to then take the SAP certification. And we've talked about the Excel and Power BI data analytics a couple of weeks ago, so I'm not going to go into that. But that is also a pathway that you can pursue in this career roadmap. That would include all other tools like the SQL and Python. Regardless that we haven't scheduled these ones, we actually have resources. If you want to take it on your own, like you want to go do self-study on this, we have resources for this. So if it's something that you're really interested in, you want to start it already without waiting for us to schedule it, just reach out. We'll be able to get you on that pathway. But the one we have just finished is SAPM, and we have upcoming schedule for SAPMM as well in the area of finance. So we have what we call the SAP FICO. So SAP FICO is SAP Fine. It's actually the foundation of SAP because everything you do in your business process connects back to finance, right? So it is like the foundation. And for those who really want to pursue SAP career, this is also something we would encourage that they do. However, for those who are in finance or some other type of business function who are interested in pursuing SAP career, can also enroll for this SAP finance cohort where we resource it with experienced professionals who have done implementations of themselves, and they're able to push you through this, and after that you go for the certification. There are other type of certification depending, like I said earlier, there is Microsoft PL 300, Microsoft Dynamics certification. So Dynamics is equivalent of SAP so it's also an ERP. Maybe in future we'll schedule the Microsoft Dynamics um, user training, but for now we don't have it scheduled. Um, Usually it's based on demand. Sometimes we don't really see a lot of demand, for Microsoft Dynamics. Maybe at this point in time is the reason why we haven't scheduled it. But that is also another big ERP out there by Microsoft. So the third stage of the roadmap is internship. So we will be able to provide some type of internship, especially for those who are pursuing the IT career roadmap, because usually when you do this type of training, employers always wants to know if you have hands-on experience. So this is where the internship thing comes in, and then that will be the end of that career roadmap because it's supposed to lead you to a job opportunity. Having had that experience and also the training. So I'm gonna skip the analytics because, like I said, we did something on Excel already, but these other ones are also available for those who want to pursue self-study. All right, and then the one that we have been scheduling consistently now is the SAP so we've done SAP GUI navigation. So we're going to schedule this one for May as well. I think we have it scheduled already. So this SAP navigation. So this is for people who just want to use it. They don't want to become an SAP consultant. They just want to use it to enhance their job search. Okay, as a procurement professional. So you want to have, because they always ask for it in this, if you, especially if you're applying to procurement roles, they always ask for SAP so you could have this just as a, to have your foot in the door. And yeah, analytics also. You couldn't see my screen?
We can see your screen, business analytics course. That's why
That's
it's showing.
okay. Let me stop on Zoom, since the guys on Zoom are also saying the same thing.
Yeah.
uh,
Now we can see SAP business process integration.
okay. Okay, guys on Zoom, you can see my screen now. Okay. So Yeah, bear with me. I know sometimes it really could be funny doing this thing, and especially from my own end, right? So the SAP Business Process Integration is the one that, as we were saying earlier about SAP ERP, that it's the foundation for any business process. So this is for guys who probably want to become an SAP solution consultant at some point, and they need to have access or knowledge of every other function that SAP supports. So all the applications. So this basically the right one, which is SAP BPI. So we haven't scheduled this one for now. Okay, so that is really what I want to talk about, the IT aspect. But I want to know if there are questions, so I don't take too much of our time here. This is the SAP user one that I said we're going to schedule in May. Usually we want to just be 3 to 5 students so that people can really get hands-on and be able to get things done. Like they are confident to actually go to interviews and talk about what they can do with SAP. So it's a 5-day weekend workshop facilitated by a certified SAP trainer, and it's always is based on S4 HANA systems. We will install the system I mean the software on your system, and then you also gain you have 3 months access to be able to practice with all the things you have learned during the training. So this is what that is. So I'm going to stop sharing this now so that I can hand over to uh, we start with Lucky. Let me close this screen now. Is Lucky there? But any question at this point in time? Any question? No? No, I'm not doctor, I beg. Doctor. Okay, go ahead. Okay, sure, sure. I will send you. So what I will do here is I will send you guys a link that you can use to actually schedule like a 15 minutes chat, where we could talk more about, your needs. It could even be beyond just SAP. It could be maybe other things that you have on your mind in terms of your career progress, and then we could take it from there. I like to talk to understand your needs first. Sometimes people come and think, "Oh, okay, well, I have a job search situation, I need a resume," but they're actually not figuring out here what their challenge is, and then we could take it from there once we have had that little chat. So I'll share that quickly. So anyone who wants to take this discussion further, especially as far as the IT career roadmap or the supply chain career roadmap is concerned, you can use this to schedule that 15 minutes chat with me. Okay. Um. Okay. Let me. Everyone in the meeting. Yeah. Okay. This. Okay. You should be able to see it now. Okay, so you can use that. Let's talk, and then we could take it further from there. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm gonna stop sharing here. But before I go, actually, the one that I have on my screen at this point in time, I think is I believe is the supply chain career roadmap. Most of you here, I believe you are in supply chain. But even if you have not done supply chain before, supply chain is the industry, and this is a model that actually shows everything that is going on in supply chain. So you can see that there are primary activities. The one that a lot of people know. If you ask anybody out there what is supply chain, they'll tell you transportation, right? Because that's what everybody see. Okay. But what goes on in supply chain is way beyond that. And you can see they broke it down into support activities and primary activities here. So the primary activities mainly is logistics, operations management, marketing, and then we also have sales and customer service as well. So those are all supply chain. And then you see the support activities is the more interesting one, right? You can see procurement, technology, which is what we just talked about now. And then there's human resources management, right? And then there's farm infrastructure. So when they say farm infrastructure, now they're talking about, technology and some other things related to policies, procedures, business processes, and all those stuffs. So yeah, somebody says my slide is not changing. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, I hope you can see the right slide now. So you can see there's also the definition of supply chain here. I'm just trying to show this for the sake of those who might not actually been introduced to supply chain at any point in time. They are in supply chain, but they have not really been introduced like formally to supply chain, but everybody works in the supply chain. So supply chain is a system of organizations, people, technologies, activities, information, and resources involved in moving materials, products, and services all the way through the manufacturing process from the original supplier to the end customer. So this is the definition by APICS. There are several definitions. If you ask me, I'll define in a different way, but basically it's just a network of organizations, processes, technologies, just mention it, that are involved in industrial activities. Basically, I will leave it as simple as that. So this is like a breakdown of those activities. So we have the planning, sourcing, making, which is manufacturing, delivering, return, which is logistics, enable, which is technology. All right. So this kind of like a breakdown, or let's say the DNA. So we can call it the DNA of supply chain. Okay. So I'm going to just keep to the roadmap itself. So this is the roadmap itself. So in the roadmap, we have foundational courses by ASCM. We have supply chain planning, inventory management, procurement, operations management. There's actually a course called Supply Chain Foundation. Anyone that you're pursuing supply chain business analysis, or you're pursuing supply chain data analytics, and you do not really have any foundational course, or you need a boot camp on supply chain management, this will be the supply chain foundational course. And then there is the certification part of it, which is the CSCP, CPIM, and CLTD. And after that, you can also have like a 3 months internship with us or our partner firms. So having said that, I will let Lucky take us through the CPIM. I will do the CLTD and CSCP, and then we'll go to Gautier for the procurement certificate. Over to you, Lucky. I hope you're able to share. You're able to share, right? Okay. Yeah, we can see it. Go ahead. Yeah, we can see your screen though. It's okay.
Abby, I'm not sure if Lucky is presenting, but I cannot hear him
Okay, you
on,
can't hear him. Okay, maybe it's from my
on my
side.
end. Okay.
Yeah, move on. Yeah, we can hear you on Zoom. I think it's on LinkedIn that we're not hearing you. So go ahead. I'll fix it. Yeah. How about now, Guti?
Not yet. I'm still waiting for the sound to come through. I can see his screen perfectly, but I can't hear his voice.
Okay. Go ahead, Lucky. Lucky, are you still there? Can you guys hear him? Okay. Lucky, we can't hear you. I don't know. Maybe it's your audio.
But can you hear him on Zoom though?
No, not even on Zoom now. So I think maybe he's on his side.
Okay.
Maybe network on his side. Okay. So you will be back. Let me just Let me share my screen here. Maybe we can use the opportunity to do some other stuff here. Okay. Um, is Lucky back? I don't think he's back. Adela, can you check? Maybe. Yeah, I think he's back. Yeah, he's back. Yeah, go ahead. I think you were on that matrix, right? Weren't you? Hmm. Okay. Okay, any question? Yeah, I was even sending in the chat box here, but I think I sent it. Okay, Yusuf said it's 3 months okay for the training certification. It depends. All right. So, 3 months will be possible for somebody who actually have experience doing all those things that they have mentioned as the curriculum. I've seen folks who might have experience in some area, but they're not so great in other areas. And as a result, they might not feel confident enough within 3 months to be able to attempt the exam. Um, the other thing, like Lucky said earlier, the moment you start, I mean, the moment you've enrolled in the training, you should actually schedule your exam already. So if you enrolled in the program today for the training, then you should be doing your exam May, June, July, August. You should be doing your exam in August. So, not that you should have it in memory, you should actually register for the exam right away, because that will help you to fill your calendar with study activity towards passing that exam or towards being ready to attempt the exam. What a lot of people have done is this: they would register or they will purchase the LMS, the learning management system, and then they will attempt to study it on their own until they are ready, when they will now register for the exam. But what I can tell you is life happens. And the moment life happens, guess what? You keep pushing and pushing and pushing forward, and you will not attempt it. It's not like it's not like I'm saying you would not attempt it as a course or something, but I've seen a lot of people done that. Before you know it, the 1 year that they thought they had is gone. So for this reason, I would say stick between 3 to 6 months in terms of, okay, if you want to really write this exam and you have enrolled, then between 3 to 6 months should be when you take that exam. That is, right away schedule the exam the moment you enroll for a training, and that time it will help you to be focused on studying towards preparing and passing the exam. So give or take 3 to 6 months. 3 months for those who are really experiencing planning and inventory management. But for those who have one or two areas where they may be deficient, I would suggest 6 months. And the other thing I would like to mention here is that the package that we actually have on the supply chain school, where you will find all the information about the scheduling, about the price and every other thing. You'll find the information there. The package that we have, they actually gives you access to attempt it twice. So you're actually able to attempt the exam twice with the package that we have on our platform, so that if the first one didn't work out, at least you would know the areas of your weakness, so that you can then attempt it again. So that's why I say, okay, give it 3 to 6 months. At least if you did it within the first 3 months and it didn't work out, then you have another attempt, which means you have enough time to cover any gaps or any weakness areas to attempt it the second time. It might even be before the fourth month or the fifth month, depending on your comfort level, with the content and the materials. So that's what I would say. For those who are asking about the price, I don't want to scare anybody with price here, so I'm just gonna put the the link for all the information. And actually, I should use that opportunity to quickly go over, the schedules that we have for all the different professional development activities. Let me quickly share my screen here. Give me a sec. Okay, so this is my screen here. So you can see we have all these are scheduled. Some of them are self-study, some of them are group study. So you have the Supply Chain Management Foundation. This is one I say, especially those who are being introduced to supply chain for the first time, this probably will be what they will take, especially if you are in business analysis or you're taking business analysis training, but you want to explore supply chain business analysis. So this will be the perfect one because it exposes you to all the end to end, and they are not the complex stuff, right? They're at introductory level. Okay, so there is the CPIM one, I believe we haven't scheduled it. Let me see. It should be somewhere here. Um, yeah, okay, so this is the one here. I probably haven't published it. So this is this one here. So what we can see here is this 500 here is if you are joining the self study. I mean, if you're joining the group study. So you just okay. So you purchase the package, but you want to join a group to study together, and I think it's something I will encourage. So we will have a facilitator, like Lucky will be the one to help with this, to go over the material with you, so that with his experience he's able to explain the concept that might be difficult to grasp. So but for the package itself, let me quickly show what we have here. I think for the package itself is 4,000 is what I'm seeing there. Well, let me open it up here so that we can see. Yeah, it might not actually be 4,000. So what I will do is I will update that link, so that you can see. I don't want to confuse you guys. So, anyways, those are the information where you will find the information for the pricing. I think it's something around, I believe maybe 3,000 or thereabout. You will have to look at the website and you'll be able to see more of those information. So the other schedule that we have is we have the SAP MM. Let me see. So we have the SAP MM consulting. We have another one that is going to start in May, which is actually for navigation and end user. So this one is just for those who wants to get introduced to SAP to be able to use it to boost their job search. Um, Then there is the SAP FICO that I mentioned earlier. So this is end user and consulting for those who are in finance or who want to really pursue a career in SAP, so that they will have this background. We have the public speaking. Sorry, somebody is disturbing with. So let me just tell the person to send a message. Okay, so somebody, we have the public speaking. We'll talk more about public speaking later. And let me see. Then the CLTD certification, the data analytics. So these are the ones that are scheduled. That's why I'm skipping some of them. Then we also have the procurement certificate, which is the one that Gucci will go over. So this is also scheduled to start, I believe, May 12th is when this one is starting. So without much ado, Gauthier, are you able to cover the procurement certificate one now?
Yes, there's going to be a bit of a noise in the background, but yeah, I will go over it.
Okay.
Um,
So let's give it a try and see what happens.
okay, I'll put my headset on. Can you hear me? Can you?
Yeah, we can hear you. Guys, you can hear Gauthier, right? I think I need to share you with, let me share my screen here. You're able to share your screen, right?
I will try now. I'm going to try now. So share screen. Two monitors. Okay. Okay. Yeah, window is what I'm looking for. Okay, so I'm sharing. Let me know if you are seeing my screen. Can you see my screen? Abby, I can't hear you. I don't know if you can hear me and if you're seeing my screen. Hello, Abby.
Yeah, go ahead. We can see your screen. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so good morning, everyone, again. It's going to be just an overview of supply chain procurement certificate. So essentially, the reason why we need a certificate is to tell to the field and the professionals that we have the skills that is required to complete the job. If you get hired, you are called to solve problems, and for you to solve the problems, you need to spot them and understand what to look for. I'll take a quick example just to introduce what it is. In one of the role that I was working on the contract, and the supplier sent me a revision of the contract draft where they are asking us to pick FOB, free on board. So um, if I didn't know what it is, I would have signed full stop, and I would have incurred the cost of picking up, the liability of picking up, and the risk of not knowing what equipment I will require to pick that item from supplier's dock, put onto the truck, and all the logistics that goes with it. On the top of that, it was an overseas item. So, which means I have to deal with customs and overseas regulations and everything. So, understanding the concept is very crucial, and that is why the certificate will be helpful. Now, supply chain is broad, um, but essentially, uh, the way the material is built is to help you go through the main door, understand what it is, go in the living room, and then go and explore all the other windows. So the first session will be on the fundamentals. What is purchasing? Is there a difference between purchasing and procurement? You will see a job ad, purchasing agent, purchasing specialist, procurement. So we'll understand what is the difference between those two positions. What are the type of materials that you are purchasing? Is that a capital good, or is that a commodity, an input? Um, um, is that a tactical buying or a strategic sourcing? So when you grow in your procurement career, you go through the purchasing stage, procurement, which is usually kind of intermediate. Then you go into buyer, strategic sourcing, category management. That's kind of your progression. So go during that session, you can understand what is the difference between both positions and how they relate to your career growth. What are the two main objectives of procurement, and how do you classify commodity categories versus strategic categories? So that is what we will be covering in the fundamental section of procurement. Now, once we have the basics, now we can go into what is sourcing strategies. How do we source? Why do we source first? If you are hired in a company and they are in a building stage, which means you probably don't have a database of preferred suppliers, how do you go about identifying the potential suppliers, vetting them financially, professionally, technically, administrative point of view? How do you ensure that they will deliver on the expectations? So sourcing is that part. It takes more time, but it's critical. So we'll go over what are the steps, how do you develop a cost avoidance analysis, and that probably is built in your KPIs or in your SRM, which is your supplier relationship management, or your sourcing KPI trackers. So, and one thing that is important is the relationship that you build with that supplier, right? So we'll look at what are the different type of supplier relationships. Do you go for a transactional relationship? If you are only buying commodity goods, could be pencil, papers, um, cartridge. But if you are a power generation company and you need to buy turbine, that or PSVs, now you are talking about liability, safety. You might need to build a stronger relationship, more strategical. So those are some aspects that we'll cover in this second session. Now, the next session that we cover will be purchase order management and performance measurement. What is a purchase order? Right? How do I come up with a purchase order? The first stage usually is the requisition stage, where the end user tells you what they need. Then you have the quoting stage, where you go and you have your preferred supplier list. You send up some RFQs out. You analyze them based on your company's threshold. Some companies, everything be below 50K, no need to go for a three-bit best value. Some other company is $10,000. So you use your company's procurement guidelines and you determine what is the more appropriate tool or approach. Is it over $200,000? Yes, if that's the case, you require a contract, right? Once everything is done, you might move into a stage of PO. Now, once the PO is issued, your job is not done. And that's why we talk about the life cycle. Okay? We talk about it. Now, looking at your MRP, material relationship, sorry, your MRP using your inventory data provided. So what is awesome about the ERPs is that it records every single transaction. So it provides you some data that you can utilize either for guide your next purchasing move or negotiate better price or go into contract for longer term and cost saving opportunities. You can negotiate with the company, and if you hit a threshold of $500,000, you have a 4% rebate. That is a win for the company, which means you're going to consolidate your purchase through one single supplier, but have a rebate afterward. What are the components of your supplier relationship management system, right? So we'll look at it, your procure to pay cycle. Once you issue the PO, there's a couple of other things that need to be done. Sometimes in some companies, it's separate from the procurement role. In some other company, it's all included. What am I talking about? Expediting, ensuring that the item will be delivered on time, or decide to switch from air shipment to sea shipment, or propose an expedition fees to escalate the production. Now, when you receive it, there might be a receiving discrepancies. Managing the discrepancies is another skills that you might need to have. And the last but not the least, you might have a difference between pricing on your invoice. And until it's paid, your procure to pay cycle is not completed. So there are some aspects that we cover there. Next module will be contract management and negotiations. One key element about negotiations is preparation and communication. Right? So we need to be prepared, need to know the company or the negotiator on the other side of the table. People negotiate more than company negotiates, right? So what are the steps in the PO flow? We look at the purchasing cycle. At what time do I need to maybe escalate the negotiation process to my hierarchy, right? When do I need to enforce the clauses? What clauses can I let go, and which one do I need to stand on? At what level do I need to involve the legal team, right? So those are some elements that you need to know. In some companies, the contract management aspect of the procurement is handled by a separate business unit. In another company, buyers or procurement specialists will handle that as well. So the good thing is that you have a backup support from the legal team if you need to. Then next will be sustainability and ethical sourcing. Here, the main question that we look at is, can I purchase from anywhere? What is the ESG approach of my organization? That is environmental sustainability and governance direction. Are we heavily into, non-child labor? If that's the case, we need to ensure that the suppliers that we are onboarding are meeting a minimum requirement. That might mean that you have to travel on the factory to go and inspect, that you might need to go through a third party to vet the information, right? So, and those kind of guidance are built in your procurement process. So, explain the triple bottom lines, what it is, what are the 10 principles of the UN Global Compact, and that will involve either environmental responsibilities, involve labor, people rights. What methods? There are multiple methods that you can use when it comes to sustainability in product design. If I take the case of a distribution centers, some distribution centers have incorporated all LED lighting in the system. They have invested in cardboard bells, either for cardboard bells or plastic bells. Why are they doing that? To reduce the waste and reduce the carbon print impact. What are the elements of sustainable packaging? Right? Diversity and ethical sourcing. So those aspects are very important. When you start your career, you might not see it, but as you grow, those are the type of conversation that you have when you sit on the decision table. Procurement evaluation metrics and intelligent supply chain. You can only improve what you know, right? So that's where the metrics come into play. What metrics are we using in procurement? Is that the lead time? Is that the quality? Is that the consistency and deliverable, right? You need to have a matrix and also have a data collection system in place. How often do you collect those data? How do you analyze those data? How do you ensure they are good quality? What should the report look like? Or know how to use benchmarking and discuss the benefits. Sometimes you don't have all the data, but you have a benchmark you can use to kind of guide your decision. Scorecard, very important. Blockchain technology, it connects different nodes in the process, and it helps to have a traceability in your supply chain. Advanced analytics, like I said, Power BI, Advanced Excel, Tableau, those elements help you to transform the data collected through the matrix into an intelligent supply chain, which means you do data-driven decisions. Then we talk a little bit about artificial intelligence. And once you have mastered all those elements, you need to go and challenge your supply chain procurement certificate. So you need to have a 70% score to pass, which technically, if you have read your material, asked some questions, you should be okay, essentially. So it's split into 12 questions per section. And like you see, we have fundamental of procurement, strategic sourcing, PO management and performance measurement, contract negotiation, ethical sourcing, and then look at the metrics and data-driven supply chain decisions. So that's kind of high level what we will be covering starting on May 12th. It's going to be a 2 hours kind of guidance session for 4 weeks. So, which means you need to read the materials, and we come and we discuss, and we kind of like shed some light where you might have uh, some difficulties or need some clarification. Okay. So, if there's any questions, please feel to type them in the chat, and I'll pass it over to you, Abby.
Okay, so I don't have any question on my side here. Any question about the procurement certificate? So currently I believe we have 4 people enrolled already for the procurement certificate. So if you haven't purchased your material already, you can purchase it. We share the link for the material. I think I shared it on WhatsApp yesterday. So there are 2 options there. If you already have the LMS, you already purchased the LMS, you can still join, but you need to pay for the optional group study. But if you haven't purchased it, yeah, you'll then purchase the two. You purchase the one for the um okay, so I think there's a questions here. Are the questions multiple choice? I think that's what Jerome is trying to write here. Yeah, the questions are multiple choice questions. Yeah, it's an easy one, especially if you already have some background knowledge of procurement, but however you've not had any certification to date. I think it should be an easy one for you to quickly how do I say it now, to get a proof or a validation of your professional knowledge in procurement or competence in procurement, because a lot of the times it really has to do with the fact that you don't have that social proof, and this is pretty much one of those ways you could quickly get that badge, of somebody who understands procurement at least on the foundational level. There is a guy who worked in the bank, who I was helping with job search, and this is all he did. He's a procurement specialist today, and his experience was in the bank as an operations manager. So he had some foundational knowledge of what procurement is, because the purchase, even though maybe he doesn't have the all the foundational knowledge in terms of the professional activities, or the way that we will present it in ASCM knowledge and language and dictionary and all those things. So this is the thing that he did, and he's integrated successfully as a procurement specialist with an aviation company here in Canada. It's basically procurement certificate, ASCM procurement certificate. Okay, I haven't shared the link. So this is the link to, if you're registering for that, that is the link to register for that. So the study group is optional. If you just want to do it on your own, that's also okay. Just, make the purchase of the material. And then, like we said earlier, the moment you start, so this particular one also, I think Gotema have emphasized, is it's really not a certification. So it's not like you do an exam, like you would do in the CPIM one. So it's just a matter of going through the LMS, and then you answer the test questions at the end of the LMS, and then you get your badge. So it's that straightforward. So the other one that I wanted to show you, because I noticed we haven't really shown you what the system looks like per se. So I'm going to stop the screen here. I'm going to show you the system here, what it looks like. So this is the screen. I hope you can see my screen there. Let me see if I can share that here on here as well. You can see the screen, right? Yeah, this is what was happening the other time.
Not on LinkedIn, but hopefully it's
Okay.
coming.
Yeah. Gozi, can you see it now?
Yes, I can. Yes.
Okay. So this is what the LMS looks like. So this one is for the CLTD. So we haven't really talked much about the CLTD. So CLTD is for those who are in logistics, transportation, and distribution. So we also have this one scheduled. So just for the benefit of those who might specifically be interested in the CLTD, which is a certified logistics and transportation, certified in logistics, transportation, and distribution. So this is what the LMS looks like. You can see that there are some information here on the first page, which provides you some opportunity to take a pre-test, so you can test yourself to really see what your knowledge is in before. And the benefit of this is that you can know your weakness areas, the areas maybe where you need to focus on in preparing for your exams. And there are other information here that you might look at. Then there is the study. So in the study section, you can see the tabs of showing you all the different, let's call it chapters, right? So you have the logistics overview and strategy, the logistic network design, sustainability and river logistics, capacity planning and demand management, order management, inventory management, warehouse management, transportation, and global logistics. So here you might be wondering, okay, I thought this is supposed to be about logistics. Yeah, logistics is very, very invasive, right? There's nothing you want to do in supply chain that doesn't involve logistics. So you would see this is the reason why you see pretty much everything we talked about in CPIM is actually showing up here as well. So, but the focus will be in logistics precisely, whereas the one that Lucky reviewed is focused on planning. All right, so there will still be element of logistics in planning as well. So just want to clarify on that. So you can see this is like anyone that has gone through the college, and this is really our goal for foreign trained professionals in Canada. I'll give you the options that you have if you are not going through this program. If you're not going through this program, you see the option you have is either you go to school where you are going to be paying like $20,000 or something like that and taking like 2 years. Especially for those who already have PRI, I don't think you need to do that. I always tell people that you don't need to do that. First of all, what you will do is you would delay yourself for 2 years from integrating into the industry. And then you are also going into debt of 19,000, 20,000, whatever they're charging at those schools. Whereas you have this option of spending something in the neighborhood of max $5,000 and you already have a proof of your competence as a supply chain professional. I mean, to me, it's like no brainer. This is why we adopted ASCM over any other certification because we see that they provided a roadmap, literally for anyone, no matter what stage you are in supply chain, they have that roadmap for us to be able to integrate foreign trained professionals successfully in Canada. So, well, you could see I don't need to go into the details. I'm not like a logistics specialist because that wasn't really my own, forte. But this is what it involves. I teach it actually at school. If you go to one of those schools, you'll see that all the things that they have here actually it's on this screen. If you've gone to one of those schools, I think you already have what it takes to actually write this, especially for those who have experience as well. So this is a logistics design. Logistics design is basically talking about where do we locate our warehouses, what location do we put them to have optimal cost within our supply chain. Do we how many number of warehouses do we have? In the case of Amazon recently that have located their warehouses in Winnipeg, before now they didn't have those warehouses in Winnipeg. So at some point, I think it made sense and maybe it is more competitive for them to actually have warehouses in Winnipeg, and that's how they decided to have one. But before all of those decisions are made and all of the factors around those decisions being made is what we call logistics. Is what we call network design or supply chain network design. Basically about making sure we have optimal costs within our supply chain. So, and you have all the other ones, the execution one, which order management. This is the one that a lot of people will be familiar with because this is actually what happens on Amazon, right? This order management, making sure that orders are placed, the informations are being tracked of the delivery and every other thing going on in between, the invoices and all of those other documents that are supporting the order management. So inventory management, you already know that it's about the inventories that you are using to fulfill customers needs. Where do you place them? How much do you buy? When do you do your reordering? What type of strategy do you use for your reordering? So all of this, and then warehouse management, which is actually the fulfillment, and then transportation, which is the final delivery process. So you will talk about the different modes of transportation, intermodal, ocean, air transport, rail transport, road transport. So all of these things are what is covered under CLTD. Okay, I'll leave it at that. Let's go to the CPIM one. So I'm gonna back out of here so that I can show the CPIM one. Okay, so this is the CPIM. The one I don't have here yet is the CSCP. All right, so this is the CPIM one. All right, so exactly the same structure. You can take the pretest and then you can do your study. So the good thing also about this study is that it has quizzes, it has flashcards. You can see that. It also has case study that you can use to better understand what they're teaching. So I think Emmanuel has his hands up. Sorry, I didn't see that on time. Hmm. Yeah. And in your audio, you're breaking in and out there. Maybe it's because of your headset or what is it called? The Yeah, if you can remove it for now, it's cutting in and out. Um, let's try. Let's see if it work. Go ahead. Yeah, I think it's good now. Very, very necessary. Very, very necessary. See, and this is the point I was making earlier when I said if you already had experience and you have a PR, it's not like you're trying to use the school thing to integrate in Canada, right? This is the one that I will encourage anyone to do. And the reason why I always say that is even when you go to that school and you come out, you still come back to this because this is about the industry. It's not like academic, all right? So because this is like the industry standard, the industry language, the industry knowledge. And a lot of those things really, when it comes to academics, are not the academic is good. It's good to have the diploma, but then if you don't have the certification that this person specializes in this area, yeah, you're all over the place, after you get a diploma in supply chain. So but you need one to specifically have that proof that, yeah, when it comes to this particular area, this is where I specialize. And I'm sure a lot of guys know this already. In Canada, what I've seen is that if you are saying you are this person, as in terms of your professional knowledge and experience, they want to see that in a very consistent way. I'm not just going to say I'm a supply chain professional. Well, guess what? There are thousands different functions in supply chain. Which one are you? So this is the one that helps you to have that social proof of this is where I'm really specialized in. And they've covered the fundamentals for the most part during your diploma. This is just one that then gives you that social proof, especially for the industry, because this is what the industry recognizes. In fact, if you look at your jobs, they will always ask for it. Have you seen those job postings? They will ask for certifications, you know. Yeah. So it is definitely very, very important, even though you have a diploma, you still also want to have this. Um, okay, please, how do I convert my MSIPs? So it doesn't matter. So for if you have MSIPs, well, it doesn't really, you know, it's great to have MSIPs. What I tell people, if you have MSIPs, just put it on your resume and say it's an equivalent to especially the SCMP. But MSIPs is not really recognized as and that was until recently, right? There used to be an exchange thing, but nowadays, especially for ASCM, you have to start from scratch, basically. Even if you have an MSIPs and you decide you want to pursue the ASCM tracks, you would have to start from scratch. They don't give you any advanced standing. All right. Okay, so I was going through the CPIM one. So this is the strategy one. You can see strategy scope and objective, environment types, layout, performing, risk management, capital equipment, facility sustainable strategies, sales and operations planning, the S&OP roadmap and key linkages, S&OP roles and process, integrating balancing roles of S&OP, demand, supply, detailed schedules. I know Lucky went through this, but just didn't show this in the system. So inventory, distribution, quality technology, and continuous improvement. So all of those topics are covered in these elements. The other thing that I think is also important here is the practice exams. So you have two practice exams here that you need to go through. This gives you that confidence that you have covered all the content and able to go forward. So if you get anything above 80%, I think you're good to go. Anything above 80% when you do these two. I actually did one that they introduced recently last year, December, CTSC, Certified in Transformation for Supply Chain. And exactly the same structure. And it was very helpful in helping me to pass the exam. Okay, so that's it. I'm going to leave it at that for now. I don't know if Gold was able to join us. Gold is going through the CSCP code at this point in time, and I wanted R to join to talk about his experience in the code. But in absence of R, I think I have some other um, one that is related to, let me see here. I think Augustine was able to provide something yesterday. Augustine is not able to join us, but Augustine went through the um Hi. So let me see if I can actually download this. I don't think I'm able to download this. So hi, everyone. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna share it here.
Abby, someone is talking there. I don't know if you can hear him.
Um, talk. I'm the one playing the video here, so I'm gonna stop sharing.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah,
sounds good.
so somebody who has gone through one of our cohorts, sharing their experience. You can see it on Zoom now, right? You can see somebody here, right, on your screen. Can you see that? Okay, good. Um, yeah, I'm the one that froze it. Just give me a second. Okay, can you hear it?
Participant
Okay.
in the last concluded SAP material management consultancy training with Syria project, a supply chain specialist and a new migrant to Canada. Moving over to Canada from Nigeria, I've come to realize the importance of IT within the supply chain sector, as most of the supply chain activities and cultural practices is moving towards IT based, which has to do with the use of ERP and then SAP being at the forefront of the ERP in the industrial applications of supply chain operations. I was able to participate in this training because it gives me a more or less a high competency matrix within the area of supply chain. And this training have enabled me to realize and understand better supply chain operation through the use of ERP. See, by using SAP in procurement, the P2P management of procurement cycle from the purchase acquisition to purchasing, and at the same time, I would as well like to recommend this SAP training to any other person, any other supply chain person, not just supply chain professional, anyone who want to migrate within the supply chain or within the IT-based sector to begin to see SAP as an intern in the industry, as most companies and industries presently are utilizing SAP in their management operations because of the broad-based integration functions that it provides. And at the same time, I discovered that while attending the program with Syria Project, the, the competency of the instructor and his high-level practical experience and knowledge in regards to the use of SAP implementation is also a key and a panacea in the delivery of the course model as well. And this was different from what is most time obtainable in the outside world, where most of the training does not give the hands-on experience. But considering the Syria project, the SAP MM training was highly hands-on experience oriented and work practical oriented, and the course outlines and the modules and the course materials used to deliver the topic was top-notch. I hereby wish to recommend the Syria project, and especially this SAP MM consultant training to anyone who would like to venture into this field. And for anyone who is undecided and have not made up his mind, I think you can give this a thought. It's an investment that worth it, and it gives you a high leverage in the field, in the industry, in the market, considering the high demand of subcon.
Okay, I think we got all the message already. So I don't know if anybody still have questions. I'm gonna stop sharing at this point. I think we're almost rounding up. Any final question? I think I saw a question there in the. You guys can still hear me, right? Can you guys still hear me? Okay. So I think I saw a question earlier. That's from Yusuf, talking about the Unilever supply chain analytics training on Coursera. Okay. Do you think that carries any weight? Yeah, well, no knowledge is lost, right? In this case, you are obtaining more knowledge to help with your, um, you know, your maybe let's say exploration of the supply chain analytics career. My when it comes to SAP, for example, I have been on the SAP career journey for a long time since I started my career actually. And honestly, if I put a number to the hours and also the investment that I've made into SAP, I can't even put any number to it right now because it's been a continuous improvement journey. So yeah, it's good to take that initiative at any whatever it's obtainable, get it. I mean, there are a lot of courses that we have on LinkedIn, right? All these short minutes, LinkedIn stuff. Yeah, but like Augustine was saying here, when you don't have the hands-on, it doesn't really does justice. You don't have that confidence to go to interviews to really say what you have done. And this is why a lot of people who are transitioning to business analysis career don't really get to breaking, because those things are not practical. They can talk and talk and talk, or you can learn about these things, but if you haven't really practiced them, and this is why you see on our roadmaps also we have the optional internship, because this is just a step further where you actually get to apply this knowledge, and it's not just stopping at obtaining a certificate, right? So this is what I would say in addition to, okay, it's a journey, okay, but then as part of that journey, then let's make sure that we're doing things that really gets you return on your investment, which is hands-on practical trainings that you can go to defend, maybe at job interviews, or maybe while working on projects. So that's my answer for that, but I don't know if Lucky want to add, or Gautier want to add to that. Did you see the question, Lucky? Awesome. Okay, thanks. Thanks so much, Lucky, for joining today. Emmanuel, you have a question? Okay. So I gave everyone my link earlier. So if you want to talk about all of this scheduled, whichever one, or you're not clear which one to take, I have my link there. Use as a schedule a 15-minute form with me. Gautier, you have a comment?
No, just wanted to thank all the audience today. I have a hard stop at noon,
Okay.
MST here. Great job again, Lucky. Nice to see you. I think we need to have an e-coffee. Um,
Eat coffee.
there we go. There we go. There we go.
Okay
And
then.
I encourage anyone to kind of invest in their career, and it will pay off. It will pay off.
Okay, sounds good. So I wouldn't stop immediately. I would leave the session on so that if there's any link, there are guys that have their URLs there. You can connect with them. Don't only connect, reach out, see if you can have a chat, Zoom or whatever. Start nurturing the relationship. This is how it works. And by the way, the next few weeks, Saturdays, the next one being welcome, we're going to be talking about networking. Then the Saturday after that, we're going to be talking about LinkedIn networking. So networking properly on LinkedIn. How does it work? Getting your numbers of connections to the minimum of 500 we talked about in our last session on LinkedIn. How do you go about it? And we will also talk about more of those other sessions. I think mock interview that we're going to have in the third week of next month is going to be for business. No, actually for procurement folks. So if you are active in job searching in procurement, then reach out so that we can schedule you for that mock interview. And yeah, so this the next three weeks. This is what we're going to be having, including all the other professional development activities that we have scheduled for those who are joining us. Okay, so that's it for today. Referrals, yeah, that will be something we can talk about the next week. Okay. Thanks everybody, and bye for now. I'll leave the session on so that you can make use of any information that you still have here. Bye for now, Lucky. Thanks for joining us today. Okay. Bye bye.